The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Hello everyone, it's Queen B. Line back to you with another video. This video pertains to the missing black women of Kansas City, Missouri. There have been reports of black women disappearing and unfortunately becoming unalive in Kansas City and Excelsior Springs. On October 7th, 2022, Timothy Halstead Jr. was arrested for charges of first-degree rape, first-degree kidnapping, and second-degree assault, according to court records. The Post and the Kansas City Defender reported that Halstead was known to post racist content on Facebook and that he clashed with black soldiers during his tenure in the military in the early 2000s. Halstead is due to appear in court on January 10th, 2023 for a preliminary hearing. His attorney did not respond to the insider's request for comments. In recent months, Kansas City activists and relatives of missing women have come forward on social media and in mainstream media discussing their fears that a serial killer has been targeting black women, specifically in the city's Prospect Avenue area. Again, activists and relatives of missing women have come forward via social media and in the news discussing their fears that a serial killer has been targeting black women, specifically in the city Prospect Avenue area. So in other words, Excelsior and Kansas City could be experiencing a Jeffrey Dahmer, and officers of both departments are ignoring the signs and ignoring the alerts brought on by the people and brought on by local media and activists and relatives of these missing persons. At some point, the FBI has to step in. The Excelsior and the Kansas City Police Departments are failing the citizens of Kansas City and Excelsior. They took an oath to protecting and serving a community, but they are ignoring the alerts and the warning signs of a potential serial killer or killers within the community that is going out of their way to taking out black women. Now you will watch this brief interview with Ryan Sorrell, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of Kansas City Defender with CBS, and I will be back with more commentary.
From a few weeks ago, a 22-year-old black woman escaped from a man in Excelsior Springs who she says raped her and kept her hostage in his basement for a month. That man, Timothy Halstead Jr., is facing multiple charges, including kidnapping and assault. Now, an article by the Kansas City Defender is claiming that residents in Missouri had been raising the alarm about black women going missing in the area weeks before the woman was found. At the time, the Defender reported that the Kansas City Police Department called the rumors, quote, completely unfounded.
Ryan Sorrell joins us now. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Kansas City Defender, an online publication devoted to reporting on the black community. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. Can you give us more details about what residents had been telling police about missing women prior to October 7th when the victim was found?
Absolutely. First off, thank you all so much for bringing me on here to talk about this incredibly tragic situation. It's truly horrifying, quite honestly. And the people that actually initially made these reports and these testimonies of missing black women were here where I'm located in Kansas City, Missouri. Just for clarification, it was the people here in our community in Kansas City that were making these initial reports that black women were both missing and potentially being killed, specifically on a street called Prospect here in Kansas City. And we also reported on that. We talked to numerous people in our community who said that missing Black women were, being snatched off of this street called Prospect in Kansas City, Missouri. And despite the fact that we reported it, despite the fact that numerous community members were also raising the alarm about this issue, the Kansas City Police Department, without contacting us to see where we got this information from, without reaching out to anyone in the community whatsoever, without reaching out to any community leaders, our Kansas City Police Department responded 3 days later and said that the reports that we made were completely unfounded without doing any type of investigation whatsoever. And of course, as you all mentioned, about a month later, after the police department said that those reports were completely unfounded, this woman from Excelsior Springs who escaped from this man's basement said that she had actually been picked up and snatched off of Prospect Avenue here in Kansas City at the exact same time period that we said in our reporting, and that people in our community were reporting that Black women were being snatched from this street called Prospect. And so the most troubling aspect of this entire situation is, number one, that our community is not being listened to, specifically Black women. That is what we find to be the most disturbing aspect of this situation, is that we made these reports. We, raised the alarm multiple times, and our police department quite literally silenced the alarms that people in our community were making.
Ryan, I want to follow up with you on that. And for viewers who may be not as well versed, there are two police departments that we're talking about here: Kansas City, Excelsior City. Excelsior City is where that woman was found, having been held hostage and other terrible, terrible things. The Excelsior City Police Department responded to claims that they ignored reports from the community about these missing Black women. In a statement, they say, "We have checked with law enforcement agencies in the Kansas City metropolitan area, and there are no current missing persons reports which correspond with the evidence examined so far in this investigation." Ryan, I also read your most recent report where you took on Kansas City's police department for what they had said before, those completely unfounded rumors. And it still says that we do maintain that there's no indication that what you guys reported was accurate, even after this woman was found. And we should also tell our viewers that there is the possibility that there were other victims that are still being investigated. How do you account for both what you've heard from these police departments, those statements, and also, do you feel like even after this has come to light that these reports are still not being taken seriously?
Absolutely. I think that both of those are excellent questions. And quite frankly, to us in the community, with the police department maintaining their position that what they initially said, that these reports in the community were completely unfounded, even after this woman who escaped this situation said herself, she's the victim. And she said herself, she got picked up off of Kansas City, this street called Prospect in Kansas City. And so for the police department to continue and say that the reports of missing people from this particular street were completely unfounded is honestly a slap in the face to the people in our community. It once again just drives their credibility down, quite frankly. And it's once again just very troubling. And I think that the primary problem here that we see is that in that statement that you just mentioned from the Excelsior Springs Police Department, where they say they don't have any missing persons reports that correlate the two, what we can look at is that the woman who actually escaped did not have a missing persons report on her. And so she was still from Kansas City. She still got picked up off Prospect where people said she was missing, but she did not have a missing persons report. And so there could be numerous other women who are missing, and the police department should be willing to look into their cases and investigate, even if a formal missing persons report is not filed.
Do you think they owe you an apology?
I mean, not me. I think they owe the Black community at large, and especially the Black women. I mean, this woman was tortured in this man's basement for over a month. Multiple women potentially have also been killed. I think they should be apologizing to the families. I think they should be apologizing to the Black community at large. And I really don't know.
This story highlights the continued disregard and disrespect of the Black community, particularly when Black women go missing. This particular Black woman escaped Hassold's basement, and still the Excelsior and Kansas City police departments are still going out of their way dismissing claims made by community members that are seeing a pattern of Black women going missing in their communities. We will watch this continued pattern, and I promise you, the minute that this person or persons feel at ease to trying another race, that's when Excelsior and Kansas City police departments will finally listen. And it is unfortunate. Once again, there is approximately 90,000 plus Black girls and Black women currently missing. This is a state of an emergency. And if we continue disregarding the alerts made by local media, activists, family members, friends that are screaming on the top of their lungs that please look into these missing persons cases, we will continue to having the same results of not getting our loved ones home safe and sound. I've said this before and I will say it again. If we treat missing persons cases as criminal cases, you will see a shift in the attitude from mainstream media and investigators when handling these cases. Every second counts in a missing persons cases. We claim we will listen to Black women. We claim we will believe Black women. We claim we will protect Black women. But our actions on a daily basis shows that we are not doing the work. I will leave in the comments and description below for organizations and hotlines as it pertains to missing persons. I thank you for watching. Please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.